What's good, y'all? My name is Bob King, and today I'm going to be going over all of the alts in Overwatch 2. I'm going to be ranking them from weakest to strongest. I've always wanted to make a ranking list, and I know that Ben already made videos about this, and I know that I'm late to the party, but you know what they say, better late than never, right? Anyway, I have 3 specific criteria that I'm going to employ when it comes to ranking each ultimate. 1. Carry potential for team fights. This one is probably the most important, and it made it very difficult to rank each ult. 2. The duration of the ult. And 3. The overall flashiness of said ult. Moving forward, bear in mind that this is all just my opinion and it's not straight up facts. So you can debate me in the comments if you'd like. Just try to be civil in the comments. I know how some people can be. Lastly, this is going to be taking into account the perspective of a casual, average player. So nobody pro, nobody like Flats or Emong or like Cold Sparks, no one like that. It's just in the perspective of like somebody who works a 9 to 5 and just plays the game sometimes regularly, or maybe they play different games on the side. Finally, I apologize if the quality isn't there. This is my second video ever and I'm new to YouTube. And shout out to my homie Maverick for helping me with clips. Anyway, with that being said, let's get right into the video.
What are those Neanderthals up to? Don't they know I'm busy spoiling myself?
Coming in at the number 43 spot, we have Bastion. So in my opinion, Bastion's ult is not that good compared to all of the others. The reason why I put it in the last place is because casual players don't really know what they're doing when they use it. So it goes a little bit like this. They'll just spam the little circle target, little radius thingy, wherever the target is at, and they'll just spam it in that area. They won't like take their time with it. And as a result, they won't get any value out of it. They'll just spam, the little bombshell things and miss. Or they'll think that they got someone because they'll get the little hit marker. But then say it's like a Reaper, they'll just fade and just avoid it. Or it's a carry, they'll just teleport away. There's so many options to avoiding it that it's not even that viable. Even if like it's in the right hands, it's not even that good of all. Just compared to everything else, it's outshined. And I kind of like his older ult better, where he would turn into like a tank and fire those little bombshell things. It was more fun, he could bop himself into the air, and it did more damage, so it was more viable. It was just overall a better ult. Coming in at the number 42 spot, we have Orisa. So the problem I have with Orisa is that you lose all your mobility, so all that momentum that you may have had, because playing Orisa, you have a lot of momentum, a lot of momentum everywhere. Forward, backwards, left, right, you name it. That's kind of how you play her. You just spam all your cooldowns, and then once you're all out of cooldowns, you're screwed. But that's kind of how you play Orisa. Sorry. You just run around, spam your cooldowns, take as much space as possible, and once you're out of cooldowns, you're screwed. You're cooked. Now, Orisa's ult, it's like a second fortify. It's like it gives her another chance at life in a way. Kind of like more characters we'll see in the future on the list, but it just gives her more time to live pretty much. So it's not inherently a bad ult. Everything on this list isn't technically bad. It's just it gets outshined by other abilities.
Show your bling and let me shine you.
I know that with Orisa, you can charge it to like 500% and try to like psych out your enemies to make them think that you're just gonna pop it immediately. Like say there's a Kiri and then you want to use your little, I think it's called Terra Surge, right? Yeah, you use a Terra Surge, you pop it, and then say there's a carry, but she doesn't know when you're going to use it. So, you know, you charge it to 500% and psych her out, and then she throws her Suzu, and then, yeah. I'm not saying that you can't get anyone with Odysseus Terra Surge, I'm just saying it's not the best out of all other ults. And everything next up on the list just outshines it, in my opinion. Coming in at the number 41 spot, we have Doom. So Doom's ult is still good. Like I mentioned before with Orisa, you get like a second chance at life in a way. And it's the same way with Doom. You get like a second chance at life. So soon as you hit Q or triangle or Y or whatever you're playing as Doom, say you don't have that much health, right? You pop it, it immediately restores your health, it makes you invulnerable, and it gives you overhealth after you slam the ground. So it's pretty cool to have, it's a pretty good ability. And not only that, but it also charges his little charge forward punchy move. So he gets a utility, offensive utility. But the problem is, it's only utility for himself. You'll see soon that the next abilities or the best ones are the ones that provide utility to the entire team, not just to one, not like individual utility. And that's why he's kind of lacking in a way. Not to mention, it's kind of difficult to play Doom, and the casual player isn't going to be hitting that many like crazy, you know, ults or like making that many plays. And so for that reason, I think Doom belongs in the number 41 spot. Coming in at the number 40 spot, we have Junkrat. Alright, Junkrat stands, y'all are gonna hate me for putting Rat in the weaker part of the list, but just hear me out. My biggest issue with the tire is that it's loud and it can be destroyed relatively easily. Not only that, but most casual Junkrats tend to use it inefficiently. For example, they only send it out in a straight line. They're not very creative with it. Whenever I see experienced Junkrats, they usually like to have the tire go through obstacles or over rooftops so that they don't get destroyed. And it's pretty jarring to deal with because they're really subtle about it. So inexperienced Junkrat players will usually use their tires in straightforward ways instead of elaborate ways. Maybe they'll still get a 3 or 4K with it, but it doesn't mean it was a good idea. Just because something's a bad idea but it still works doesn't mean you should regularly do it. I think I heard Flat say that when he was spectating bronzes. I understand that Junkrat tire isn't even anything too complex to think about. It's just like an HDXD from Call of Duty. You know, the little vehicle that you drive to the enemy and that it detonates. But still, having a plan when you're using it will still help you. My final criticism with the Junkrat tire is that casual players don't know when to actually use it. So they'll use it when your team's already capped, so there's no point in even using it, and they just waste an entire ability. And it takes a little bit of time to recharge compared to other ultimates. I think that Junkrat tire is decent, but it's not as good as everything else higher up on the list. What separates good Junkrat players from better Junkrat players is the placement and understanding of when to use it and how to use it. Coming in at the number 39 spot, we have Torbjorn. Now, Torbjorn's ult has a lot of uses. It's pretty versatile. But I just think that it gets outshined by other ults. And it's kind of slow. Like, it's just a little bit slow. And that's my two main problems with it. It's still not a bad ability, and you can still catch people off guard. Also, it's a zoning tool. It's a really good zoning tool. Like, if you don't want them on the point, just throw some lava down. Make it Bowser's Castle. Y'all are good. But the problem is just it's slow. And it's pretty fairly obvious when he's going to use it. If you know your team is all grouped up together and he hasn't popped ult in a while, you can just use context clues and determine that he's probably going to pop ult. In the number 38 spot, we have Hanzo. So Hanzo has a similar issue with Torb. When he uses his ult, it's slow. And it's pretty obvious when he's going to use it. But the reason I put it higher than Torb's is because he can still like really catch people off guard and he can get whole teams with it. I often see like Torbjorn doesn't often get play of the game, and if he does, it's not from his ult. But whenever I see like, you know, Hanzo on play of the game, generally it's because of his ult. And so for that reason I put him higher than Torb. They still kind of do the same thing, they just zone out an area for a little bit. Torb mainly zones out an area for longer periods of time. But, you know, really the main issue with the Hanzo Dragon, all you gotta do is just step 3 or 4 paces left or right, and you're basically out of it. I think I might have just showed some footage of it. If you try to like avoid it though and you're too slow, he can still catch you off guard. I think the best way to use a Hanzo ult is like behind a wall or something. And make sure that you're close to your targets so they don't have enough time to step away from it. Once you do that, you're set and you can just let that dragon fly. Coming in the number 37 spot, we have Winston. Now Winston's ult, for casual players, they really generally don't know how to use it, and you don't see Winston getting picked that much anyway when you're playing like against casual players. Winston's ult is still decent, it's still D tier, but it's still not that bad. It's just when it's it has to be in the right hands to make the most value out of it. I mean, for example, maybe you want to jump into the enemy backline and then pop both their supports into like a pit or something. Say you're playing like Elios and there's a Winston, he jumps into the backline and then knocks both the supports into the well, and then he knocks like maybe one of the DPS into the well and gets half the team. See, that's when I could see how it's useful, but a casual player isn't really going to be doing that. Maybe when it's combined with like Ana ult and Kiri ult, it's even better. But still, casual players aren't really going to be getting it. I think like with Winston ult, it's really just because his hitbox, he gets larger, I think. So he becomes like an ult battery, kind of in a way. Same with Orisa. I forgot to mention that with Orisa. She becomes an ult battery because she can't move when she's using it. But Winston is even worse because I think his hitbox gets bigger. He can still move, but you know, like he gets more health, so he just becomes an ult battery for the enemy team. Keep in mind though, his jump, the recharge time on it is 2 seconds when he's in his ult instead of like 5 seconds regularly. So he has like an escape tool if he keeps getting shot up too much, which is good, which is really good. Coming in at the number 36 spot, we got Hazard. So on paper, you would think that Hazard's ult is technically better than Ryan's because it gets air targets. The zoning effect, I think, is larger, and you know, he can still like maneuver better than Ryan. But you're probably wondering, well, Bob King, why is Ryan better? Well, it's for one reason. I think Reinhardt's kit just meshes better with his ult than Hazard's does with his ult. So for that reason, I put Ryan higher on this list, significantly higher actually. I don't want to spoil it or anything, but significantly higher. I'm not sure. I think Reinhardt is just even, like, he makes more use out of it anyway because he's a melee character. Whereas Hazard is kind of like a hybrid, where he's melee slash, um, you know, projectile sort of like. I don't know. I just think like when Reinhardt he ults, you know, he can hit like 2 or 3 targets at one time, like with his little hammer and all that. He has the charge too that he can cancel, by the way. So that's why I put Ryan higher in my opinion though, in my opinion. Coming in at the number 35 spot, we have Sojourn. So Sojourn, I put her high up on this list because I'm ranking these purely from a casual player's perspective. And with Sojourn, you have to have aim. You have to have pretty good aim if you're playing Sojourn. And a lot of casual players don't, so that's why she's higher up on the list. Who knows? Maybe I'll make another ranking of these when I'm better at the game.
We do not care.
I'll make like another ranking video where I rank like all of the alts in competitive and like purely based on like how good they are in the right hands. But because this video is for casual players, I'm not doing that.
We do not care.
Up next, we have everyone's favorite evil Samoan. Malgo. So basically what he does is he creates this cylindrical area of effect, and anybody who gets caught in it can't use any mobility abilities and they're trapped for like 10 seconds. It's a pretty good ult, but there's not really much to that, you know, there's not really much to say about it. They just trap people and they can't really go anywhere. I would say it's just a mid-tier ult. Coming in at the number 33 spot, we have Ashe. So Ashe, she deploys Bob, who will zone out an area because he's a stationary turret. The problem I have with him is he's just really basic. He's just a sentry turret, but he can run in a straight line, and then he stops. That's it. Like, it's not like we haven't seen anything like that before. We've seen Call of Duty score streaks like that. Like, hell, we've seen Call of Duty score streaks that are better. It's pretty unoriginal, and it's basic. That's my only complaint with Bob. Now, Bob, though, he is good because he can progress, like, points and stuff. So, say you're on, like, one of those control point maps. He can just, if you put him on there and he stays there, he will hold the point. He's like having another player on your team in a way. But other than that, he's just basic.
See, I didn't know I came here to be disrespected.
And that's my only problem with it. I would say at this point, since we're like around 10 spots in, we're probably at like everything that's in C tier, like mid. Everything that's mid, everything in the mid tier. So coming up next, we have Tracer. So the thing about Tracer is it builds really fast, and it can be unpredictable when she's gonna throw it, which is cool. You can play mind games with people. But the only thing about it is it's so bland. All it is just a bomb. Like, wow, we haven't seen that before. It's just a bomb. Like, what is there to really say? I'm sorry, Tracer. I know that you were like the poster child of the game back in like 2016, but they really did you dirty with your ult. That's all I have to say, really. Coming in at the number 31 spot, we have Hog. So Hog has the same problem with Tracer and Ashe. All he does is get a death machine. And yeah, I know that Malga has death machines. But I don't know. I don't even like Malga anyway. So, I don't know. Just Hog is like, he just gets death machines. It's so unoriginal. We've seen it with Juggernauts in Call of Duty. We've seen it so much in media. We've seen death machines all the time. So it's nothing groundbreaking. It's just death machine. One thing I will give Hog credit for though, when he pops his ult and say you're using like Kiri, Kitsune Rush, or like not Diva, you're using Ana. How did I forget her name? You're using Ana little nano boost with Hog. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
But like, I don't know. It's just bland. That's all I have to say. Coming in at the number 30 spot, we have Lifeweaver. So this ult is actually pretty interesting. What Lifeweaver does is he summons this little tree and it gives heals to everyone within the area. And it has a ton of HP. It's difficult to destroy. Well, not really difficult to destroy because it kind of just sits there. And that's the problem with it. It's stationary. It just sits there.
He's just standing there, menacingly.
Could be better. It could be better. And I think the heals that it gives you, because it's comparable to Zenyatta's ult, I think the heals that it gives you isn't as much as Zenyatta ult. So that's like the only problem I have with it. It just sits still. Now you can use it in a tactical way. You can like put it in a hallway or something, like a hallway entrance, and say like that they're trying to get to the point. You put it in the hallway entrance and they can't get there. So it has some uses. And obviously, you know, the main use, getting heals. Pretty mid ult. Definitely C tier for me. But I never really play Lifeweaver. So it's up to debate. Coming in at the number 29 spot, we have Baptiste. I actually like Baptiste's ult, but I never play Bap. But I do like his ult. So what it does is he puts this little window. It's more like a garage door because that thing is massive. He throws it out and then he can shoot like bullets through it. Any projectiles that get sent through it, including your team, get double damage. And his heals, any heals from him or his team will deal double the effect, which is very good. Very good. It's useful. It helps out in a pinch, and it can turn team fights. So I like it. Just the only problem I have, the only reason why it's in the number 29 spot is because the average player isn't gonna know how or when to really use it correctly. So the value in it isn't there. You know? Like the value isn't really there. A lot of the time when I'm playing with a BAP and they're a casual player, what they'll do is they'll throw the little window down after the team fight has already been won. And I'm sitting there thinking like, hey, why'd you do that?
Wait a minute.
But you know, coming in at the number 28 spot, we have Sim. So Symmetra, she's in the mid tier because it's okay, I guess. It's a defensive ult. It does provide utility for the team because, you know, it stops any poke damage from happening. A lot of spam gets flown around in Overwatch. It gets shot out, it gets thrown. A lot of spam in this game, so it is good to have something to counter it. But the problem I have with it is it takes a little bit of skill to actually master, and you know, a casual player isn't really going to use it the best. They're kind of just going to haphazardly throw it out in a panic when they're getting shot, and maybe they'll even use it when their team isn't even present, which defeats the purpose of using it. And that's why I put it in the number 28 spot. Coming in at the number 27 spot, we have Moira. So the only problem I have with Moira ult is you can't cancel it. Sometimes casual players like to use their ult at the end of the fight and get no value from it. What if they just throw it and they can't cancel it? What's the point in even using it in the first place? You know, it just doesn't. It's a good ult, don't get me wrong. It can heal your team and it can deal damage. It deals damage rather slowly, so you have a lot of time to like get behind cover because it can't go through walls. That's also another counter. If you're getting beamed, just go behind a wall and you're fine. That's really the problem that I have with Moira ult is They have to use it in an open area to get the most value from it. Otherwise, you just get behind a wall and she can't even beam you. I know that she can fly and go fast, but yeah, I don't know. It's not really the best ult. Depends on what map you're playing on to really get value from anyway. That's why I put it in the mid tier. Coming in at number 26, we have Venture. Venture ult, I guess we could compare it to Ryan in Hazard. Only difference is it doesn't immobilize any of the targets that it hits, and you get to use it 4 times. The fact that you get to use it 4 times is reason enough to put it higher than Hazard's ult. But the reason why I put it below Ryan is because I like the dramatic effect of Ryan's ult more. You always hear like Flats and Emong say like big slam when they're watching like you know, spectating bronze or whatever. Or when they see Ryan use his Earth Shatter anyway, they'll just be like big slam, you know. It's kind of funny. I just like the dramatic appeal to it. And that's why I put it put Ryan's ult higher than Venture's ult. Venture's ult is still pretty good though. Like, it'll bot people up into the air. It has a decent range, and it deals a ton of damage. Coming in at the number 25 spot, we have Pharah. So the thing about Pharah is her ult is pretty obvious when she's gonna pop it. You know, like, has it been a long time? Has she never used her ult at all this whole game? Then you could probably assume she has it. Oh wait, what's that? She's high in the sky? Okay, then you should probably, you know, just go in a building or something, because she's probably about to pop ult. You know, it's just fairly obvious when she's going to use it. Also, I noticed that when lower tier players are playing it like casuals, they don't even really get the most value out of it anyway. So I don't know. That's just why I put Pharah at the number 25 spot. Keep in mind though, it is pretty decent because it'll give Pharah more fuel so she can stay in the air longer. So it's not that bad of an ult. I just think it's mid. Coming in at the number 24 spot, I put Iyari. So I put Iyari in the number 24 spot because she's a support. I kind of wish she got like a healing ult instead. Maybe like some sort of ability where she does something to the sun on the map or something, like a celestial object. It would fit with her kit anyway because she's supposed to be based off like a sun power demon girl, I guess. And maybe if she did something with the sun, it could heal everyone on the map no matter where they are from her. I think that would have been a better ult than what she got, but she, you know, she still got this, which is, it's an okay ult, but I don't know. You can still get CC'd, so watch out for like sleep darts and stuff like that if an Ana is good enough. And then also, you know, I don't know, it moves pretty slow, and Kiriko has 2 abilities that can negate the effects of it as well. So watch out if they have a Kiriko, don't even try to shoot her. Keep in mind that Iyari kind of moves slow too. So like, I don't know. You can still hit people obviously, but you have to kind of catch them off guard. Coming in at the number 23 spot, we got Freya. So I put Freya in the number 23 spot just below Pharah, or not Pharah, Iyari, because their ults, they kind of act similar. You know, they have like a projectile that gets sent out and then it explodes. But the reason why I put Freya higher than Iyari is because Freya's ult travels faster and has more range to it, I think. So for that reason, I think Freya's goes higher. I like having faster projectile travel speeds, not having that much of a chance for like whoever I'm shooting to dodge it. But the damage output on Freya's ult is kind of lacking. That's why I think it's just a mid ult. Coming in at the number 22 spot, we got D.Va. Self-destruct. So with D.Va, it's very obvious when she's going to use it, and the enemy team has days to react. They have so much time. A big ass exclamation point appears. Yeah, it's very obvious. You just dodge it. And if you can't, then you're screwed. So you don't really see Diva in high elos using it to actually get kills. You see her using it to actually get like a second shot at life. Like it's just like what I mentioned earlier with Arisa and Doomfist. It's the same as them two. So like it's an okay ult if you're trying to get health back. Keep in mind though, when you're in bronze, everybody has to get hit by it, or somebody has to get hit by it. If you've watched like Flats and Emon, they have like this little pact where they say, "Oh, it's bronze. They got hit by a Diva bomb. Yeah, the pack has been fulfilled." So if there's a Diva bomb, someone in bronze has to get hit by it. It's pretty funny actually. So yeah, that's why I put Diva in the mid tiers.
Let me lock him out real quick.
She heard me?
Okay, we're back.
You heard me?
Yes.
In the number 21 spot, we got Widow. So you're probably wondering, Bob King, why'd you put Widow in number 21? Well, the reason's simple. It gives you information, and that's something you need in this game. It's literally a UAV from COD, except you can see through walls. You don't have to look at a mini-map. You can see through walls. It's busted. It's pretty busted. So now we're in like the B tier era. Level 21, like anything 21 higher and up.
21.
That's like B tier, in my opinion. That's why I put Widow in the number 21 spot. Also, there's little to no counterplay to it anyways. Just, it's a UAV. It's a good ability. Coming in at the number 20 spot, we got Mei. So with Mei, her ult is similar to Torb's, but it doesn't last as long. It's still a really good ability. She can freeze anyone in it, and in conjunction with her whole kit, it just fits. It's a really good ult. It can even hit air targets, unlike Rhine. So it's a really good ult. The only problem with it, sometimes it's obvious when she's gonna use it. Like, is your team all grouped up? Has she not popped ult in a while? Oh, then she probably has Blizzard. And Kiri can counter it with Suzu, so also look out for that when you're using it. Aside from those drawbacks, Mei has a pretty decent ult. Now, coming in at the number 19 spot, we have Lucio. So Lucio's ult, the way it works is he beats the ground and gives his team overhealth, and it lasts for 6 seconds. The only problem I have with it is that it lasts for 6 seconds. Other support ults that come next on the list, they are just better because they last longer. But other than that, it's still a B tier ult. Coming in at the number 18 spot, we have Ram, or Ramatra. Ramatra's ult, it's a B tier ult, it's good. But watch out for like CC. If an Ana is good enough and she sleeps you, it's over, you're cooked. If you get accretion, you get hit by a rock, by Sigma, you can still get back up and continue, but you're kind of cooked.
Oh yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked. Same thing.
I don't know. But if you get slept though, you are really cooked. But one thing I will say though, it is pretty intimidating when I have a Ramatra walking me down and I have no one to teleport to. And I know I'm cooked. It's pretty scary. There's little to no counterplay to it. It lasts longer when he gets kills with it too. If he only, like if a casual player is using Ramatra though, they generally will get the kills. But like sometimes they kind of run around not knowing what to do next. That's something that a lot of like casual players do. They just run around not knowing what to do next after they pop their ult. Don't be like that when you're playing Ramatra though. Pretty good ult. Coming in at the number 17 spot, we have Cass. So Cassidy's ult has potential to win team fights completely, especially if they use it like in a clever way. Like they sneak behind the enemy, you know. But the only downside is CC. You could get CC'd. You don't have CC immunity. So when you try to pop it, you don't have any super armor or nothing. And say you get slept, then you're screwed. You're cooked. And yeah, but it's still a pretty good ult. Beats here definitely. There's not that much counterplay. And well, it is a little bit slow. It is a little bit slow and obvious. So yeah, those are the only downsides. Other than that, you can still get like 4, sometimes 3 or 4 people with it if you use it right. So yeah.
Got homeboy right here like,
What is that melody?
Coming in at the number 16 spot, we got Sigma. So Sigma, just like Ramatra and Cass, you have to look out for CC. You could still get slept while you're using it, and it'll just take you out of it completely. But Sigma's ult is still really good. You press Q, you press triangle or Y or whatever you're playing. You levitate up in the air. You launch the enemies up in the air, and then it allows for follow-up from your team. They can then shoot them, get picks, get some ult percentage, and then they still have to deal with the damage that they're gonna face when they get slammed down onto the ground. Just the problem with it is if a casual Sigma just tries to use it without like any follow-up, it's kind of in vain, you know. It's kind of like they wasted it. So just try to use it when you're with your team and you'll get the most out of it. Sigma ult is definitely in the B tier category, definitely a good ult. In the number 15 spot, I put Genji. There are just 2 problems with Genji's ult. So 1, Genji can still get CC'd just like the last 3 entries. And 2, Genji requires precision and skill and timing to use. If you try to go in alone as Genji and your team's not there with you, you're not going to get much done. What I like to do when I'm playing Genji, I like to wait until the middle of the team fight. Or like once the team fight's progressed a little bit, you know, because then the enemy team has used a lot of their resources and they're low on HP a little bit. Then I go into the back line, pop dragon, and try to hit some the supports. So that way they lose all their resources instead of just having some of their resources. And then my team can follow up on like the tank or the DPS. But keep in mind that your dragon, it can get Suzu'd, and if you're trying to go after Kiri, I don't recommend it. She could just teleport away or Suzu it, obviously. So yeah, just watch out for who you're going after with the Dragon Blade, because if you go after the wrong person, they could just, you know, CC you, dodge it, avoid it, stuff like that. Either way though, it is a good ult. Coming in at the number 14 spot, we have Transcendence from Zenyatta. So Zenyatta Transcendence. What do I have to say about Transcendence? Well, it's a better version of Lifeweaver ult because you can move in, I think it lasts 8 seconds. So yeah, it's just a better Lifeweaver ult. It is a very good ult. You get some move, and the thing about Zenyatta, he's kind of like intolerable to play because he's so slow. And it's pretty annoying playing as him because, you know, just, I don't know, he moves like a slug. But having Transcendence to remedy that is really nice. There's little to no counterplay. You can't get CC'd. You're invulnerable with it. Yeah, just use it when your team is there. You really can use it to counter other plays too. Like say an Ana tries to go for a nano on her Rhine, and then the Rhine goes for Earth Shatter. Well, you're there and you get to use your little Transcendence, and you're invincible, so you don't get stunned by the Rhine. Your team might, but you don't get stunned by the Rhine. And as long as your team is within range, you just heal them before the Rhine can even do anything, before he can pin anyone, before he can get any picks. You just pop Transcendence, and y'all are good. Coming in at the number 13 spot, I got Wrecking Ball. So Wrecking Ball, what do I say about Wrecking Ball? Well, his ult is a lot like Torb's. It zones out the enemy, you know. But the best part about it is he can just throw it down from like wherever he wants. Like he could be high in the sky and he could just throw it down unpredictably and just catch people off guard. That's why and it's faster. It's a lot faster than Torb's ult. That's why I put it higher. It just pops out instantaneously, and it's just random. Now, the one thing keeping it lower on the list, and I'm not even saying lower because it's number 13, but it's lower compared to other ones, is because I just have this one problem with it. Everything can just get destroyed. Say like a Sombra hacks and you throw it down, they just all disappear and then it's just gone. You know, so that's some counterplay. Also, it requires skill to play ball in general, but it requires skill to use his ult, and I don't think a casual player has it exactly. Wrecking Ball is just difficult to learn and difficult to play. Still a good ult though. Coming in at the number 12 spot, we got Sombra. I mentioned Sombra in the last entry, but Sombra, her ult's very easy to use, so that's why it's really high on this list. It's AoE, and it hacks everyone on the field, meaning they can't use their abilities. The one problem, the one reason why low elo and casual players mess this all up so much is because they don't use it with their team. They just use it alone, and so they just ruin the ult completely. It's still a good ult. It can shut down other plays. Say like I don't know, a Genji tries to ult, and then Sombra comes in, hacks him. Now he can't do anything, and then your team can come in and just destroy the Genji. So yeah, Sombra's ult is really good. I wish it did more damage, but hey, if it did, it'd probably be busted. Coming in at the number 11 spot, we have Soldier. So when Soldier is combined with other ults like Kiri or Ana, he becomes a powerhouse. I'm telling you, like, he could destroy teams so quick. Even without these amplifying abilities, he could still just destroy teams very quickly if he uses his ult correctly. I don't know. Not much to really say here. I think we're in the number 11 spot. I think everything here is A tier and higher. Everything from spot 11 and higher is A tier. So yeah, Soldier ult, really good ult. Coming in the number 10 spot, we got Death Blossom from Reaper. So Death Blossom, the thing about Death Blossom is it can just completely destroy teams, similar to Soldier, except it does it in an instant. You just press a button and everything just dies. The best part about it is paired with Reaper's kit, it's perfect. You could teleport to like a bridge or an overhead somewhere. You can fade somewhere very quietly to the enemy backline before they even realize it. As soon as they realize it, it's too late and they're just dead. And if you combine it with Ana ult and Kiri ult, it's just devastating. So yeah, I think Reaper ult is definitely number 10, top 10 for sure. There's little to no counterplay. Just watch out for CC though when you're using it. That's the only counterplay I can think of. If you get slept while you're Death Blossoming, then you're cooked. Also, try to use it in the middle of the team fight instead of at the very beginning. Use it when your team is there. I think you get the most value out of it, kind of similar to Genji. Once the team's expended resources, say they have a Kiri, and you don't know if she has Suzu or teleport. Well, let's say like the fight's been going on for a little bit, you know, then you Death Blossom, she doesn't have Suzu because she used it, and you're good. So yeah, definitely number 10. Coming in at the number 9 spot, I put Juno. So Juno's ult provides a lot of utility to the team, and that's why I put her in top 10. You know, she just throws this little beam down from the sky and it gives everyone heals and it makes their damage go up. Not really sure how. It's a beam from space, but you know, I'm not gonna scrutinize like the reality of the abilities. You know, we got talking apes that have jetpacks. You know, so I mean, but anyway, Juno ult, not much to counter it really, except maybe like Sombra ult before she pops it, and maybe a Kiri ult against it. But once she pops it, it really does make the supports on the enemy team have to counter it in their own fashion. Like I mentioned before, Kiri might have to pop her ult just to contest it, or the Juno might have to pop her ult to contest the Juno, you know? And so that's why I think Juno ult is in number 9. Coming in at the number 8 spot, we have Echo. So the reason I put Echo in 8 is because her ult requires some understanding of every character's ult to get the most value, and I don't think casual players have that level of knowledge at the time that they're playing. And so for that reason, I put her in number 8. It's still a very good ult. You can turn team fights completely in your favor with it if you wanted to. Say you just transform into a Reaper, teleport to the back line, and just death blossom their whole team. So it has utility. So yeah, I think Echo is definitely top 10 for sure. Definitely A tier. So for number 7 and higher, everything here beyond is in the S tier category. Everything I personally think that I'm about to mention is the best in the game. And you could debate me if you want. But yeah. Coming for number 7 is Rein. Rein ult needs no explanation. Hell, you could stun the whole team, and then it just allows your whole team to push up. And yeah, it just creates so much space. It's so dramatic. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a reason why Flats and Emog, they say big slam whenever they get like a nice slam. It's just broken. It's a really good ult. And it just fits perfectly with Ryan's entire kit. Since he's a melee character, he just gets a lot of value out of it because he can just, you know, swing the little hammer and hit like 4 or 5 people at one time. It's just a really good ability, really good ult. And when he's combined with Ana to deal more damage with the slam, it's even better. When he's combined with Kiri ult to slam it even faster, it's just really good ability, really good ult. There's not that much to counter it either. The only thing I can think of is like Suzu. Oh, and then it's sometimes obvious when he's gonna use it. You know, like, oh, he dropped his shield, my team is grouped up together, and yeah, I could put 2 and 2 together. He's definitely gonna slam here. Other than that, there's not much that counters it. Unless maybe you get CC'd, maybe if you get slept right before you right before you hit the ground, then you're kind of cooked. But if you're gonna slam as Ryan, just make sure that your team is there to back you up. Other than that, yeah, definitely top 7, definitely a S tier ult. Coming in number 6 spot, we have Ana. So the reason I put Ana so high is because of the perk system. So Ana, if you don't know her perk, she has a perk that allows her to nano boost somebody, and then she will get a nano boost herself. It's kind of busted if you think about it, because you know, like nano will like give you health back, and it will give her health back as well. So it's just a really broken ability. I don't know. There's not much counterplay to it either. Maybe like a counter nano boost I could think of would counter a nano boost, but no. Maybe the person who gets nano could get slept, but there's not much to counter it. It's just outside of the top 5 for me though. Coming in at the number 5 spot, we have Zarya. So with Zarya's ult, it's really creative, and it sucks everyone in. It just I don't know, it's just broken. Like, you can combine it with other ults like Genji Nano Blade, maybe you could combine it with just so much. You can even land a Bastion ult using it. It's just a really good ult, especially if y'all have good comms. I don't know, it's a really good ult. There's not much counterplay to it, except maybe like Suzu. But even if you Suzu the Suzu doesn't last as long as a Zarya ult. So a good carry would have to time it properly to save their team. Coming in at the number 4 spot, we got Mercy. Mercy's ult, I think it's good, but the only thing keeping it in the number 4 spot and not higher is because it's not her old ultimate where she can just heal her whole team or revive her whole team, kind of like Adam Warlock from Marvel Rivals. It's still a very good ult though. I mean, she can fly even better than usual, and it amplifies her abilities. So it's a really good ability. It's just outshined by everything else on the list, in my opinion. Coming in at the number 3 spot, we got Junker Queen. So Junker Queen's ability, it can turn fights completely if used properly, and it's not hard to use. You just move forward in a straight line, you just press Q, press triangle, press Y, whatever, and she gets sent flying, like really far. And then the enemy team can't heal, they can't do much of anything really. How many times do you think I've seen like supports in low elo or like casuals where they can't heal anymore? It makes them feel like they're out of the job, like they can't do anything. Only counter to it is Suzu, and that's the reason why I put Junker Queen so high up on the list. There's only one thing that counters it. And I know you could say, oh well, Bob King, you know, like the grenade from Ana does the same thing. Yes, but it doesn't deal as much damage over time. In the long term, if there's no carry on the enemy team and a Junker Queen just pops ult, it just does so much damage. It's kind of like Rhine, and it does damage over time, and that's the reason why I think it does more damage. And the follow-up for it is just so good. It's insane. That's why I put Junker Queen higher in the number 3 spot. Coming in at the number 2 spot, we have Kiri. So yeah, y'all probably think I was gonna put her in the number 1 spot. I told y'all at the beginning of the video that I wasn't going to be biased, and I put Kiri at number 2 just because there's little to no counterplay except for another Kiri ult. You could still die at it, and that's why it's in number 2, the number 2 spot. You could still die at it. You know, boost. It lasts for 10 seconds too, so that's very good. Very broken ability. Yeah, I don't really need to say more about that. Coming in at the number 1 spot, I put, well, you probably guessed it, Brig. Put Brig at number 1. The reason why is because it's similar to Kiri. The only difference is it doesn't give everyone a speed boost, it only gives Brig the speed boost, which is pretty good. And then it gives everyone health, it gives you armor, it gives everyone armor, and it still gives Brig like extra speed, which is really good. And she gets that giant shield as well. The reason I put her in number 1 is I was grading it off of, if I was to use any of these alts in a game, which one would I survive most? Which one would I most likely survive using? And Brig was the one. It was Brig. And not only does it give a lot of utility just to her, but it gives utility to everyone on the team. And so for that reason, I think she has the best ult in the entire game. But you know, you could dispute that in the comments. Let me know, like, Bob King, you're tripping, you don't know what you're talking about. Or, you know, like, just, I don't know, try to be as civil as possible in the comments though. I understand, but you know, I could take it. Lastly, I want to thank my homie Maverick for helping me with the clips. It took a very long time to make this video. I know I said I was going to upload every single day, and I'm going to try, but this is my longest video ever, and it took several days to compile everything. So if you made it this far, I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate it. Please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It took a while to make this, like I said, so I would appreciate all the support. And again, comment if you disagree. Try to be as civil as you can in the comments. I'm repeating myself. So with that, I'm gonna go. I'll see you in the next one.
Joakim, my best friend loves you.